And we're back, Jonathan.
We're back for 2 Betrayals.
Yes, which is episode 8 of Halo.
It is.
This is part 8 of our Let's Play series. We have just completed the library, and we have returned to the control room with 343 Guilty Spark, a newfound friend. And we're going to have him unite for the first time with our other good AI friend, Cortana. I'm sure everything will be fine.
They don't get along. It's kind of a clique thing.
I think it'll be fine. They're both robot people. All
I
robot
think that's
people are
prejudiced.
friends. I mean, there's only like 2 robot people in this whole fucking game, man. Of course, they've got to be friends. That's how it has to work.
Let's see what happens. Of course, putting the jokes aside for a second, it is interesting to remember, for that entire last level, we were helping this guy try to destroy all life in the universe.
What are you talking about? Come on, he seems like a good guy, but no, you are totally right. We got our green radioactive stick.
We put it in the thing.
Yeah, and Cortana is not going to be very, very happy about this.
Because the chief has done something very stupid.
Yes. I like this cutscene a lot.
Yep.
And she's back!
Cortana!
And she has magic powers! Here you get that toady about. This is where you get a little bit of hint of that Cortana was originally supposed to be British, and then they realized that was stupid, but they didn't rewrite the dialogue. Chum is another one.
It's a testament to Jen Taylor that you don't really notice that much, because she just makes it all sound so natural.
I mean, I just feel like maybe it was just a phase that Cortana went through. She was watching a lot of BBC police dramas, and, you know, she just sort of, like, picked up the accent.
Sod off.
There's another one. That's very British.
Yep.
Sure that's a good idea.
How dare you?
Do what?
I love how indignant he is.
You can just float.
Well, this is a good moment where you sort of, you know, you get a sense of like, oh, there's a lot more going on here. 343 Guilty Spark is not just a weird kind of kooky AI guy.
He's an evil, kooky AI guy.
And now we find out how the ring works.
Halo doesn't kill Flood. It kills their food.
Which is logic. We'll just accept that they were not able to design a weapon that can just destroy specifically the Flood. It can only destroy all other organic material.
Okay, so question for you, Sean.
Yes.
How does the Halo do that? Like, what does it do?
I don't know if they've ever explained what, like, the actual, like, sort of, like, physical thing it does to wipe out organic life. It just, it wipes out organic life.
Okay. Like, why does it have to be a giant halo with, like, biomasses and stuff?
Well, the halos were also designed to be research facilities. Like, that is part of the canon, that the Forerunners designed them. So that's why they have these sort of containment facilities where you can study the Flood. Because I think honestly, like, the fear is that even if you design a weapon that can, quote-unquote, wipe out the Flood, you're never 100% sure that it has succeeded. And if even one tiny little bit of Flood survives, they can destroy the universe, right? Yes. So you want to sort of be able to study the Flood, contain them as best you can until you can find a better solution for taking them out. And so the Halo, the cleansing of the galaxy is like a contingency plan. Is I think what it's supposed to be supposed to be.
Okay.
We must activate the ring.
This is a long cutscene.
Yeah,
I forgot.
I like the line that 343 Guilty Spark just had. Last time you asked me if I could do it, my answer has not changed.
Last time you asked me if it were my choice, would I do it? Having had considerable time to ponder your words, my answer has not changed. There is no choice. We must activate the ring.
I like those little hints you get of these hints in Halo 1 of that maybe the humans were the Forerunners, which I feel like was supposed to be the plan originally. There's so many little hints of it in the early games of that probably the humans were the Forerunners. At some point in the past, they had to activate the Halo rings, and that caused, like, our civilization to basically be completely reset, and we barely survived. Like, that was always what it felt like the hint was going to be of that plot line, and then they just ultimately didn't really go in that direction. But I like those little bits of lines that 343 has where you don't know how crazy he is. You don't know, like, what does he mean last time I asked you? What the fuck is he even talking about? But it's a good little bit of mystery.
Gun pointed at the head of the universe, which we just had there. That's one of my favorite little chyrons they do.
Yes, it's very
great.
I also like this is the first, and I think maybe it's the only time, we'll see in the next couple levels if it's the only time, that you start with the plasma pistol in this game, and it just lets you know, hey, plasma pistol really fucks up the Sentinels in this game.
Yes.
Like, it is basically the only way to deal with them.
That said, that is one of the hardest starts to any level on a higher difficulty.
Oh, yes.
Especially, I mean, this level is a fucking gauntlet. I mean, from here to the end of the game, it's pretty balls to the wall, crazy.
Yeah.
Including the level I always forget is a level in this game, Keys. Even though it's a great level, I always forget it's there.
Yeah. It's definitely, because we have, like the stuff they talked about, we have now entered what, in my mind, is like the final sort of set of levels of the game, is the last 3 levels, where we are at Assault on the Control Room, but we're going to go through it sort of backwards, but also we're going to visit different areas of that level that we didn't. Yeah, we didn't visit the first time because we're going to get Banshees and stuff, and we're going to fly around, and we're going to, as Cortana was telling us in a lot of dialogue at the beginning of the level, we're going to have to shut off a bunch of weird thingies or whatever with our shield to be able to do a thing.
You can tell how much of a lore dump was happening earlier on by the size of the subtitles.
Yes, it was the whole bottom third of the screen was taken up by like 3 paragraphs of text.
You think they could split that up a little more, but, you know, it's fun.
You know, Cortana's gotta get her stuff done.
And listen to that music, those horns. Oh, nice grenade there.
Yeah, because this is the first time we're seeing the Covenant again after our long, arduous journey through the library. It's also the first time we get the shotgun against the Covenant enemies, which is always a fun thing to do. And there's a little weapon stash at the top of this thing I can go find.
Weapon without the index. The machinery in these canyons are Halo's primary firing mechanisms. They consist of 3 phase pulse generators.
This is where we're finding out what we need to do.
Phase pulse generators.
Yes.
That is a like bit of technobabble I always remember from this game. Here's that little sniper's nest you get.
Yep.
There's not a snipe right now, but that's what it looks like. I
don't
know who left that there.
You know, some wayward Marine.
And here's the thing, it wasn't there when you went into the control room.
No.
So a Marine got here, I assume tried to snipe some people, and was probably killed from behind like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be a Halo novel.
Or maybe a Flood combat form took like a stark interest in long-range weaponry, you know?
This is true.
And then realized, like, this isn't really what we're designed for. This isn't really, like, kind of our game.
Because they always shoot their weapons with one hand.
Yeah.
The sniper rifle you can't really do that with, effectively.
Because I don't think you ever see Flood with sniper rifles, because it would be kind of absurd. So maybe that's why. Maybe he tried it out and was like, you know what, this isn't my thing. I'm gonna, you know, I kind of want to differentiate myself. I feel like I'm a pretty unique individual.
Clint Eastwood's gonna make a movie about it one day called Flood Sniper. It's gonna make a lot of money.
That was a really great joke. That was just a grade A.
The Photoshop is gonna make it, Sean. That's what's gonna make that.
Is that what you're doing now? Is that now just since you have now edited together the first 5 episodes, you're just thinking of weird Photoshops you can make and then making jokes out of that instead of doing it the other way around?
You're the one playing the game. I gotta be creative somehow.
If you want to call that creativity, I will not argue that point, I suppose.
Thank you. I think.
Yeah. I like you get these weird little bits of metal bullshit that have dropped from somewhere that I don't really understand, like, because you don't, when we get a Banshee, we'll go up and look around, but there's nothing has just been destroyed up there to create these little bits of cover, but it is nice because when you play through this level the right way, the first time through, and you come up here, you don't have those little bits of cover to help you.
Right.
We, of course, skipped that bit.
We did. But I love what they do here to kind of differentiate it a little bit is that it's snowing harder, it's later at night,
yeah.
It feels like the storm is a little thicker, the whole level just feels a little darker and dirtier, you know what I mean?
It's a much more dramatic sort of visual here. We can switch to the new graphics here.
Oh, it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Although I do like kind of the darkness of the original ones here, where it feels like more nighttime-y.
Yeah. But the heavier snow in the new graphics, I think, looks really nice. But I definitely agree. It's something that's true all about the original Halo graphics as opposed to the remastered ones, is there's just a darkness to it, a dankness to it.
There, the main theme is coming in.
We'll need it to reach the pulse generator in time.
Again, it's a really nice change of pace after the, like, really sort of intense ambient music that was in the library in 343 Guilty Spark that were kind of, like, back to business again.
Yep.
We also have not seen the Flood yet, but they will pop up in this level.
The Chief is back to doing what he does best, which is killing aliens.
Yes. Got my big old rocket launcher. That also is just sort of... I'll guess here is the first little bit of flood we have, that they were carrying the rocket launcher and the ammo with it.
There are always hints about the Flood's presence before you see the Flood.
Yeah.
It's something they've always, I think, done well with the Flood, even in levels that I don't like as much, like in Halo 2.
Yeah.
You always get the little hints that they're coming.
Because you also can see we're getting slightly more, like, upgraded forms of the Covenant, too, because that was a Gold Elite I just brutalized with my shotgun. And the only other time I think we've seen a Gold Elite, we've seen like 1 or 2 on the bridges on Assault on the Control Room, and then at the end of Silent Cartographer. But they become more frequent at this point in the game. There he is.
I can't wait until Halo 7, Return of the Flood, where they bring the Flood back dramatically, and now they introduce a whole 4th weapon set, which is the Flood weapon set. The Flood have made their own weapons, and now Halo 7 will have 54 different guns to use.
It's just, they're gross, like, big, organic, like, claws and, like, little needle things that, like, shoot barbs. Yeah. 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 I hope you have fun with those photoshops as well.
I was not planning. I wanted to make the joke about the weapon type,
Okay,
but I could try to make that. Let's see.
I think that's maybe like a caliber above what you were going to be able to achieve, is like legitimately designing new weapons.
We call them photoshops. I don't own Photoshop. I hope
Yeah.
you can tell from the quality.
I thought that there's a terminal on the first level, or the first time you come through
Right.
the level that's down there, but not this time through. But again, we
Very
skipped
much
that
in the
part.
new graphics, this looks like the end of Halo 3.
Yes.
The second level called Halo in the games.
And this is where you're normally supposed to get the Banshee for the first time. Which
So
is
they
why
give you a tutorial.
Yes, this helpful little tutorial. We, of course, did our little trick on the Assault on the Control Room level and skipped this whole bit. But now that we have the Banshee proper, and the Banshee is a heavy feature of Two Betrayals, you can kind of talk about... I really like the Halo 1 Banshee. It's a very different vehicle than the other ones, but it controls in really particular ways. So, like, I like it just free falls, which is something that the Banshee typically does not do in other Halo games. Typically, the Banshee is always moving forward, and here it really feels more like a kind of hovercraft thing than a full-on plane, which is what it more is in the other Halo games.
And again, thinking about how each level does things to differentiate itself, you had access to a Banshee, sort of, in Assault on the Control Room, but this level is actually built around it as a mechanic, and I really like that.
Let's see if I can just get up here. I don't remember... I'm not going to, like, stick around too much to try to actually find it, but there is... Because I don't remember specifically where it is, but there's an Easter egg on one of these levels up, like one of the areas up here. If you stand up here, it will play the song Siege of Madrigal, which is from Myth, which is another earlier Bungie game. It was an RTS that Marty O'Donnell did the score for that one as well.
Oh, nice.
So if you want to, you can look up a YouTube video if you want to see that little bit, because again, I don't remember specifically where it is, and you have to stand there for like a minute or something to get it to play.
Yeah. But speaking about the Banshee,
Yes.
in general, the Banshee parts of Halo 1 are probably my favorite use of the Banshee in a Halo campaign. I really do like the part in Halo 2 where you have the Banshee with Arbiter. I think that's that's one of the better parts of that early Arbiter stretch. Because you get the ridiculous music in the original version of Halo 2.
Yeah.
Which they replaced in Halo 2 Anniversary, and I get it. But I'm also, disappoints me a little bit.
Sure, I mean, because it was by Incubus, the band, so that's why they had to
Because Halo
replace it.
2 was in that time period where... Oh.
That's there you go. There's the special Halo 1 vehicle
Collision.
physics.
Yes.
Again, the slightest of nudges of any moving vehicle, and it will just utterly annihilate you.
The Master Chief has survived so much, but that Banshee, that was too much for him.
Yeah, I mean, it fell on his foot.
It did.
I mean, fell is maybe a dramatic word. It
Nudged.
nudged onto the top of his foot.
Too much for the poor guy. No, but what I was going to say is Halo 2 was back in that period where everything had, like, the Inspired By soundtrack.
Yeah.
And so they had to have the soundtrack with all the rock music on it.
Yeah,
and
so you
it's
have
so
that
bad, but
Breaking
it's so
Benjamin
good.
song that
Yep.
plays near the end of Halo 2. Yeah,
I love it.
It was a different time. It's
It was.
2004.
Kids today would have no reference point for why that was a thing, Because we don't do that anymore for anything.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that there's anybody under the age of, like, 22 that even like knows what Breaking Benjamin is. Like
No.
I barely knew what Breaking Benjamin was.
Only because of Halo 2, frankly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. See, here we are. Oh, these rooms. We've been through so many of these rooms, and we'll be through some more. But this one has this crazy thing in the middle of it.
Where you have to hurt yourself to activate it.
Which I love this. I love this little thing of it. You have to... I interrupted Cortana just by jumping into it, but you have to get it to react with your shields to blow up, and so your shields are down, and then all these fucking assholes come in here, and I forgot to keep a plasma pistol for them. And...
I think you're gonna die.
I'm probably going to die. I'm going to do my best. The Sentinels are real assholes here, but this is kind of, you don't fight them too much in this game. So this sort of room teaches you to prepare to take these guys out when you're doing this in the future.
Because these will get harder. This one is just these couple of Sentinels, but sometimes you'll have whole teams of Covenant that we're gonna meet later.
And then also, there are Sentinels that have little energy shields on them, and those are the real bastards.
Yes. Oh, nice. I like how they kind of like light on fire before they explode.
Yeah.
It's nice.
There's definitely something that you want a plasma pistol for these guys.
But a shotgun will do.
It will do. You just have to use up a lot of ammo for it.
Yeah. But you get to watch that awesome reload animation. God, I love the shotgun reload animation.
Yeah, this is also where I'm just sort of thinking about it. In Halo 1, you can't take their Sentinel beams, which is sort of became a running weapon in the later Halo games. And there are lots of little weapons like that. Like, we're also going to run into some fuel rod cannon carrying grunts later in this level.
Yeah.
There's the energy sword. And, there were lots of little hints of, like, other weapons that they would then add in the later Halo games that you could actually use. But in this one, you just sort of have to, suffer the playground rumors of people saying, oh, if you play it on Legendary and you skip this thing and blah, 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 then you can definitely steal it. It's like, no, you assholes, you definitely can't use the fuel rod cannon. Oh, there he is. There's our first fuel rod cannon grunt. Almost blew me up.
The fuel rod cannon is bigger than that little guy. How does he even carry it?
Weightlifting. There's, he's a bodybuilding grunt. There's another Photoshop for you to do.
We keep calling attention to it. That's not the way you do this, Sean.
It's how we do it now.
Were the grunt sex Photoshop's not enough for you?
I mean, it's our thing now. It's okay. What we do. You like Photoshop the heads of grunts onto other things. It's our new brand we're working on.
All right. Well, people have gotten famous on the internet for weirder things.
That's definitely true. Be very
nice
careful.
Dodge the Banshee.
I realized I was getting out while it was moving backwards, and that's a dangerous thing. So now you can see we are moving through these hallways, but the arrows are pointing in the other direction. So it's, you have to be very clever. Not get turned around.
That grunt did not expect to die just then.
No. Yeah, you see, now you just get to go through here with the ridiculously powerful Halo 1 shotgun with, a good amount of ammo. And just fuck these guys up.
Oh, man. The shot to the chest and then bash him on the head. That was brutal.
They just don't stand a chance, really. I mean, you can see there on that kill, like, the range that the Halo 1 shotgun has, that for, particularly the Halo 2 shotgun, they really sort of severely corrected that and made it a very, very close-range weapon. But here you can get some good distance on guys. Like that.
God, look at that. No shotgun in the world would be able to kill something from that far away.
Well, in real life, I think they would have enough range, but in any video game, no, because you don't want a shotgun in a video game to have that much range because it's just not good balance.
No.
But again,
it's fun.
It is important to remember that for Halo 1, it was very much about the campaign first, and then multiplayer was sort of designed as an afterthought that almost got cut. And so the weapons are mostly balanced for use in single player. So they're able to kind of have, ridiculously powerful shotguns and the like.
Yes.
Because you weren't too concerned about, like, how fucked up it would be when you, say, play Capture the Flag, where we have the flood coming in. Like, play Capture the Flag on Sidewinder and have someone just hypothetically hide up halfway up on the ladder in the base with a shotgun, and you can basically kill someone halfway across the room with it. Nobody was thinking about that at the time, and I was grateful for it. Yes, I definitely won some matches that way.
Video game shotguns are just one of my favorite things in the world. Bad ones, good ones, I just love them. And when you get a good video game shotgun like this, or in Doom 2016, that shotgun you get that just looks like the oldest piece of shit in the world, but is so awesome.
Yeah.
I love video game shotguns.
You can often judge a first-person shooter by the quality of its shotgun.
Absolutely.
And Halo has always had a real good one.
Yeah, and the sequels too. Like they make it weaker, but the Halo 2 shotgun I love to death. It was so great in multiplayer and better balanced. But in all of them, it's always good. And then they made it visually in Halo 3. It's more similar to the Halo 1 shotgun, but it's weaker. The Halo 2 shotgun is so different. It's black and green and it's real thin.
Yeah,
I love that one.
Nope, Jesus.
That
Flood
guy
coming in
on top of a shield. That was funny.
Yeah, but now you see we're getting the Flood coming in here.
Yep. And I love this when you start mixing them together and fighting the Flood and the Covenant at the same time. It's very interesting.
Yeah, and you will definitely see there are later parts in this level where a good strategy, honestly, is to let the Flood and the Covenant fight each other and conserve your ammo. I always like it when video games do that, letting you pit different enemy types against each other.
It feels dynamic and alive, you know?
I also just want to point out, holy shit, this fucking... Again, I know we're probably harping on this a lot, but it calls attention to itself, right?
Imagine if you ever walked into a room in real life and there was that much human blood on the floor.
You'd be traumatized forever.
Traumatized for life.
You'd have nightmares about it. I mean, it's painted. The fucking floor is just painted with this shit.
Especially when there's no bodies around.
Yeah.
That's the creepiest thing.
God.
Like, basically, you would have to open up a couple of these aliens, drain them of all of their blood, and then just splash it around.
Yeah.
To get that effect.
It's so absurd. No other video game blood effects, but few other video game blood effects are able to sort of, like, match that. It's really fucked up.
One way they could win me back for Halo 6 is if they brought the blood back in full force.
Oh, God. Can you imagine if you did these kind of blood effects, but with more modern graphics?
It'd be the best thing ever.
Oh, did he go? Did he go?
He went off.
I think he went off.
Nice.
I am, just to put it out there, I'm going to try to see if I can see his body from up here, because he might have survived that fall because he was a gold elite. So if I die, know it was in service of a noble cause.
Well, we're on another one of these bridges. We had a lot of them in Assault on the Control Room, and as we see, every time there's a bridge, they add more and more shit to throw at you, and I love these bridges for that reason, because they are great little challenge runs.
Yeah, because now we have the Flood on the other bridge, and they have started jumping over. Because this is the bridge that had the hunters on the other time we came through.
And we were on the other bridge last time, the adjacent one.
Okay, I'm going to try to jump up on this thing. This has this little nudge here.
Alright. So do we see...
I don't have our
elite friend? I don't see him.
I think he just crumpled to death down there. This is too high up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I'll have to move on. These guys are peppering me. It's very stressful when you have those human weapons firing at you, because you can hear the bullet effects as they whiz by your head. Again, you're just not used to it at this point in the game.
Following those arrows backwards.
Yep. Because we don't have an assault rifle with us, so we can't use the compass.
That's true.
The super useful compass. I just always like throwing a grenade up here and watching those windows explode.
Oh, it's so great.
I've done it probably every single time I've ever played this game.
Yep.
I've always gone through those and done that. So it's just a learned reflex at this point.
It never gets old.
Even if there is a shotgun Flood barreling down at me, I have to do it. Let's go see what's up in that room now. Just let these guys. Come on, eat it up. Come on, get over here.
They're very stupid.
They're extremely stupid. It's not that they're stupid. They're just very hungry.
That's true. Hunger can make us all stupid.
You see, we fuck these guys up pretty good. Mm-hmm. Time to move through. Oh, Jesus Christ, get the fuck off my shit. Shotgun Flood? God damn it.
I want that on a Halo t-shirt. Get the fuck off my shit. Shotgun Flood.
I mean, they're just everywhere.
This level is chaos.
Yeah.
So many parts of it.
That's a really good way to describe it. If it's just... Things have become unhinged at this point on the ring world of Halo. Because you have all these Covenant guys that they're really afraid because... Oh, Jesus Christ. That would have...
fucked you up.
Yep. But, so yeah, you have the Covenant fighting the Flood trying to just eat everything, the humans desperately trying to leave while you're trying to just figure out what the fuck is even going on. It's yeah. It is chaos incarnate. Oh no!
Oh boy.
Okay. I was really worried there might be some grenades there. I think there's a plasma grenade over there that was just far enough away that it did not blow up. Yeah, this little guy. Here, you can hear that,
They're everywhere.
yeah, the way the Flood used that assault rifle where they pumped the trigger. It's a very distinctive sound effect.
Yep. You were showing that off earlier.
Yeah, on one of the other episodes.
Oh, you found a human pistol here.
I'm trying to think. Normally, I would absolutely go for the human pistol, but I'm playing on normal.
And the rocket launcher is an awful lot of fun.
Yes. It's good for bashing these guys.
It's so much more than you need. You're taking this giant rocket launcher to just bash these tiny little popcorn dudes into nothing.
Absolute waste of ammo. But again, I'm playing on normal. I can afford it.
When you bash the popcorn flood and they, like, disintegrate, it always reminds me of, like, when you kill a moth and it just becomes dust.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
like, so much bigger.
Man.
And I'm really glad the Chief has a suit to protect him from that, because that's gross.
You just, like, brought back this weird memory I had of a long time ago. This was probably, like, when I was in middle school or something. In my room and sort of, like, sitting on my bed reading a book. And right in front of, I had a fan, that like a little like sort of table fan, and a moth just flew into the fan, and it sprayed me in the face with just like, it was like someone just walked up with a handful of dust and just threw it in my face. It was just like, what the fuck just happened? These stupid piece of shit. Why would you do that? Why would you just? I mean, if you want to die, fine, you can die. Just don't die in my face. This is gross.
So that's what the popcorn flood are like.
Yes. Now I'm able to sort of like emotionally kind of sympathetically connect with the Master Chief through that personal life experience that I had.
Well, you didn't have a Mark IV suit.
No, exactly. But, it was way worse for me, you know? Right on my face. We got a Banshee up there strafing around. Have to be careful about. So one of the things about the Flood is those little carrier forms chew up and like you know, fog up basically your motion sensor, and it can be really disorienting if you're using your motion sensors to kind of get a sense of the flow of the battlefield. It's going to be hard to tell what are like what kinds of enemies are because they are just chewing it all up. Rocket launcher floods.
Yep.
I got something to do with him.
That was ridiculous. Look
He
at that.
cleared the other bridge!
He cleared the other bridge.
Pretty well done, if I do say so myself.
Nice.
And normally, I was not really trying to. You do not want to stick the Flood with the plasma grenades.
No.
That is very dangerous. You kind of want to make sure you're using frag grenades for these guys, because it is a lot more safe that way.
But who wants to play it safe when you can play it fun?
Yes. Just watch these guys up. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy.
That Banshee was really gunning for me.
Banshee decided to go on a kamikaze run.
Make sure these guys don't take me out when my shields are down.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so you can kind of see here with that, like, Banshee, the effect of having all these different elements kind of coming together here, where we've learned how to deal with the Flood on their own, and we've learned how to kind of deal with Banshees on their own the first time through Assault on the Control Room, but when you put them all together, it's a whole other can of worms. It's just one of the satisfying things about this sense of, like, the progression of difficulty in this game. God damn it. You can definitely, really
nice.
blow those guys up with the shotgun if you get a good shot in on them.
That is ridiculous. I love it.
Yeah, again, the balance, it's all over the place. Oh, god damn it, there he is. Okay, halfway across the bridge, and there's two of them.
Shit.
Yep.
There we go.
Back to the arrows. Always the arrows.
The arrows I see in my fucking dreams.
Yep, it's just these turns. That's like what I think Purgatory is.
Yes.
For at least for me, Purgatory is just going through one of those hallways, following those arrows forever, but you never come to the door.
Oh god. That's terrifying.
Yeah, right? That's my, you know, that's if they ever do a modern update of the Divine Comedy by Dante. That's what Purgatory's like now, motherfuckers.
Maybe we can make that Machinima project where we just loop it for 10 hours.
Sure. I mean, you could do that. You could just do that right now. You could just take one of those loops and just go forever.
Put some, like, whispering on it. You got an ASMR video. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, it's what's big on the internet these days.
Yep.
You are walking down a hall. There are no covenant, no flood, just you, your shotgun, and a sense of self-esteem and of resolve, which grows with each passing step.
Got some more shotgun ammo there.
That guy died in a weird position.
Yeah, there's just like that weird stretching that the Halo 1 graphics do because they don't really know how to ragdoll them on these things
Yeah.
yet. That's more of a Halo 2 thing, so they just kind of like hit the surface and spread out on it. And when that surface is uneven, they spread out in a very uneven way. You see on my motion tracker, that's what I was sort of talking about earlier, about it's very disorienting and kind of unsettling to always have those things there because it's so hard to eliminate every single infection form. You just, you know, sometimes have to hope that there's not some bigger enemy lurking in that blob or this blob that has just appeared on top of us. This should be fine.
This is why the Forerunners, whoever the fuck they were,
Yeah.
wanted to build the Halos.
I mean, these guys are
out.
really annoying, honestly.
Yes.
I'm sympathizing with them.
Yeah.
Just send that back,
Go
up.
back up. Alright. Bye, Flood. If it were only that easy.
Yeah. Were it so easy, I think is what you meant to say.
I wasn't actually going into that meaning to quote the Arbiter, but then in the middle I realized it would be a similar line, and then I got stage fright.
Were it so easy. Yes. You can replay that clip. Oh, Jesus Christ. Guy phased halfway through that wall.
The Flood are magicians.
They are.
Alright, what's
There's a
in
lot
here?
of them.
Nothing.
It's just a weird little thing. I wonder if I get...
That is the Forerunner version of a dumbwaiter. The food goes up through that little blue tube.
Okay, great. I think... Did you read the books? Did you read that? Was that in the Forerunner books?
It is. The radiation gives you cancer, which is why the Forerunners are all fucked up.
Oh.
But they didn't realize that for a while. They really liked their little blue floaty dumbwaiters.
Okay.
So there we go. See, I can make up lore bullshit too.
Yeah, I think maybe the people that were hired to write the books are a little bit better at it than you, but
Well, I'm not getting paid
Okay.
to come up with my lore.
it's true enough.
I don't have the motivation. That sweet, sweet book money.
Yeah. People, if you've seen the Assault on the Control Room episode, you probably remember this area we have come out the other side of.
Yes.
Our-
But it really does, I think, because of the nighttime setting and the snow and the flood and all this stuff, it doesn't feel as repetitive as it probably
No.
should.
I really love this level.
It's
I
a
think
great level.
It's got a great feel to it, and there is something about returning to a space and seeing the way that space has changed is really powerful to me. And I get
Yeah.
that, like, it's something we talked about in the 343 Guilty Spark and the library stuff about the repetitiveness. That I get that desire, particularly for, you know, for gamers or whatever, of wanting new things and new levels and new content, whatever, like new art all the time, and like just people cringe at the idea of backtracking. But if you think about like as a larger sort of experiential or narrative medium, it is like not only totally normal but completely necessary to revisit spaces and understand the way that those spaces have been changed over the course of a story and have changed the characters in that story. Like you don't, you know, nobody like cringes at the end of Return of the King where it's like, oh no, like why would you ever like want to see the Shire again? It's like, of course you have to fucking see the Shire again. Like what would be the, or it's like, why do they go back to Gondor? We've already seen Gondor. Build another miniature, you assholes. Are you fucking lazy? Like nobody says that, right?
The Lord of the Rings books are actually a better example of that because of the scouring of the Shire section.
Yeah.
That is the exact idea they're kind of doing here, is going back to a space and seeing how it has changed. The movies don't actually really do that. The Shire, nothing happens to it. But yeah, that's you can leverage that in a narrative powerfully.
And so, yeah, I think there's something valuable about, and I think especially this level shows off, and the next level also, actually like all the last 3 levels, I think show off ways that they are able to really dramatically change the feel and flow of a level to make it so that it doesn't feel repetitive in a gameplay sense.
Yeah, because like the Maw, when we get to that, one of
Yeah.
the best levels. I love the Maw, and part of that is going back to the Pillar of Autumn, which was the very beginning of the game. It's
Yeah.
very full circle, but you don't feel that's repetitive at all, because the Pillar of Autumn has been so decimated and changed, and your objectives are so vastly different, you know?
Yeah.
I love it.
And here, we have the whole sense of we need to go to those 3 areas and blow up those pulse generators, whatever the fuck they're called, with our shields. And we have to go get Banshees, and Banshees are a big part of this level this time around. It just ends, like we were talking about, the nighttime and the heavier snow, and then just the sense of chaos of this sort of thing that you and Captain Keyes have unwittingly sort of unleashed onto the ring world has caused everything to unspool. And
Yes.
I think the only way you can really generate that effect effectively is by revisiting spaces you've been through before and seeing how your actions have changed them.
Halo Combat Evolved is in constant conversation with itself.
Yeah.
Because the first 5 levels are so much about introducing a series of places and themes and motifs, and then the next 5 levels are about revisiting those areas and kind of reinterrogating them and thinking about how this story has evolved and developed in both a gameplay sense and a story sense. And I think
Yeah.
it's very compelling. And here, if you're playing on co-op, you could get in that Warthog.
Yes.
But probably better stay in the Ghost for now.
Actually, while I'm thinking about it, because we're not going to see Warthogs very much in the future until the very end of the game, something I wanted to show off, the side seat in Halo 1 is in first person, which is something you don't
Whoa,
usually
I
see
forgot
a
about
lot.
that.
And it's not like that in any other Halo game.
No.
And someone threw a grenade at me.
God.
Oh god! Where am I? Which way is up? This is how it ends, huh? Nope, still alive. But yeah, so the side seat, you go in first person, which is something that I always forget about.
Yep.
It was something I specifically wanted to show off when we were sort of like planning to do this Halo Let's Play thing, because I thought like it's such a weird, interesting detail, and I wish that other Halo games did that because I think it's fun to see the Warthog from the inside. But I completely forgot that it was a thing
Yes,
when we were
it's
actually
okay.
playing the game.
It's such a minor part.
Yeah.
I mean, you would never really do that in single player, maybe a little in multiplayer.
Yeah. But even
yeah.
then, like, because Halo 1 multiplayer did not have Xbox Live at the time, like, you could do
Right.
weird things with, like, tunneling a LAN network and bullshit like that to do a version of online. But generally, you did not have that many people playing Halo multiplayer with you. And so, yeah, there's just didn't have the experience very often of sitting in the side seat. And we've come across this area. This is where those hunters came through on the assault into the control room, and there was a Wraith right here that we took care of, where we had the tank the first time through. So that's another big sort of like change to how you feel these spaces, is you are not all powerful anymore. Oh, we have some more hunters. Yay. Let's go get these guys.
Nice.
Come on.
And there we go.
Yep.
Boy, they are
I almost feel bad about it, honestly.
It
Sometimes. It's
is.
like,
Because they're giving it their all.
but they just don't have it. They
No.
don't have it in them. It's sad.
It is.
They're supposed to be these big noble warriors, but the little pinprick in the back, and it's just all over for them.
Everyone has a weakness. Unfortunately, theirs takes up half of their back.
Yeah. And like, to be fair, if anyone shot us in the back with a pistol, I think like that's pretty bad. Like, I'm not going to say that I'm going to be able to shrug that off. But I'm also not a giant alien monster with blue armor.
This is true.
There's nuances here. Yes, we need to go get those Banshees that are over here. We got a lot
This
of
is
shit
a
to
hard
deal with.
part.
Yeah. Normally I would have my Ghost with me, but it blew up when that grunt threw a plasma
Yeah.
grenade. Let's just get this Banshee.
All right.
Fuck some
Now we're
shit up.
looking.
In Halo 1, you have to be careful when you're using the Covenant vehicles because they take damage over time. So that's why they sort of give you a lot of these Banshees all over the place, because you never really know when you're going to run out of health.
Blew that guy up nice. Wraith.
It's another thing I like about the Halo 1 Banshee is you can stop and you can like basically look in full like 180-degree arcs, and I just got taken out there while I was trying to show it off. But
You might
can
not
look-
want to do it, but you can.
Well, yeah, but you can look straight down and you can look straight up, and so you have this like really great sense of movement. And I just realized you don't even really need to take out those hunters. Let's just skip them. Take these guys on. Get that Banshee. Too far away. Nope. Nope. Apparently not too far away.
That is so ridiculous.
That was a very long distance.
Again, if they ever make the Halo movie, I want the scene where the Master Chief takes out a fucking shotgun and just guns down a tank or something.
Yeah.
With it.
It is incredibly absurd.
So wonderful.
So you can see there, I was able to take those elites out just with the human pistol because this is on normal. And I keep on feeling like it's on heroic and forgetting that I'm much more powerful and able to take them out without necessarily having to use plasma weapons or get up close and use a shotgun to take their shields out.
I like here when you get into the Banshee, it starts this little, the sad, mournful piece of music.
Yeah.
Kind of a part of the main theme. I love it.
Yeah.
Really fits the visuals here.
This is the song that plays at the very beginning of the game when you first see the Pillar of Autumn. That's
true.
Showing up at Halo. Got another Banshee over here, and then we have, there's this little plateau to my right where there are a bunch of Covenant up here. There's something I always liked about. I think it's the sense of we are in this area we used to be in, but now we're revealing sort of different shades and different spots in it that we did not see at first. So there was this whole little outpost and base up here that we never knew about the first time through. There's another Banshee somewhere around here.
Come from that direction.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was a true rod.
There's a lot of... Yeah, there are a lot of enemies up here. This is what I'm talking about with my health in the Banshee.
Yes.
Sometimes...
The yellow.
Yeah, you have to take pit stops every now and again and switch it out for a new one. Just nudge that
boy,
guy.
Nice. They are so weak.
Yep.
Everyone is, compared to the Banshee, apparently.
Yeah, now my health is in the red. But a little tip is every time you go through one of these areas and come back out, they will give you a new Banshee.
Oh, nice.
Just in case, because if I really wanted to, I could fly this Banshee and get out of it while it was moving and just send it sailing off. So I imagine that was something that they saw in testing.
Yes.
That players could do that, and they're like, "Ah, shit."
Because I have definitely done that early in the game when I didn't know they would give you the new one, and it would fall off, and I'd be like, "Well, am I fucked?" And I would just go on and see what happens. But yes, they do give you a new one.
I found myself once again without a plasma pistol in a room where there's going to be Sentinels. But I can get this plasma rifle, and that'll serve me well.
This should be exciting. This is a much harder scenario than what we had last time with the pulse generators.
Jesus, there's a lot of flood in here, and I think there's 3 of them with shotguns. Let's go ahead and just get that full reload here. So that's close enough. Get that extra little pump.
Nice. Love it. The Chief, he reloads with style.
He does. He puts a lot of emphasis on it. Yeah, so as you can see, the plasma weapons are very good against the Sentinels, utterly useless against the Flood. It's unfortunate
that
that
was
the
a nice
Covenant,
explosion there.
the Covenant are not fighting the Sentinels. Let's try to run away.
There's a lot coming.
Yep.
boy.
Yep. He's got a rocket launcher. Okay.
Okay, you got him. Oh,
I can't believe I survived that because I had 1 health and no
Yes.
shields.
Well, that's normal for you.
Now we can just stand in this hallway, shoot these guys as they come through. Could just leave.
Yeah, I think you're good to go.
Let's just have these guys. Come on. It's just, there's something very satisfying about just watching all these little guys blow up on you. Hopefully get our fancy new Banshee here.
There you go. I imagine there's just some grunt defector who wants to help the Master Chief, and he just brings Banshees for you.
Yeah,
That's the canonical explanation.
I think that was one of the chapters in Halo the Flood by William C. Dites.
Poor William C. Dites.
It's all about that.
Ride without authorization from the captain. We'll need to find him, or his neural
Here is
implants.
Cortana telling us that we're going to need to find the captain and his neural implants to start the fusion core detonation, which that will lead to a very tragic scene in the next level.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's very convenient that all we need is his neural implants and not him.
Yes.
You know,
Just punch his face out.
forward thinking by the UNSC.
All right. So what do we have left to do in this level? Is there one more of those?
Yes, there's one more
Okay.
shield generator, and then there is we're going to have a giant fight at some point here against probably my favorite fight in the whole game is this huge battlefield, but we'll talk about it when we get there.
This is a long ass level.
Yeah. Because again, it's basically the assault on the control room backwards with a couple of weird detours into different
Yes.
areas you haven't seen before. But as you can see, this is where we came up with the tank the first time through. Some rocket launcher guys. But as you can see also, like, there's this whole fight. Oh, Jesus Christ. But there's a whole fight in that tunnel between the Covenant and the Flood that you're not even a part of, that you really don't need to deal with other than just to get all the way through it without dying. And there's just something really satisfying about that, like, coming upon these conflicts that are not, do not revolve around you at all. There we go. Yeah, because again, it's just sort of like recontextualizing and reimagining these spaces you've been through. But first it was on the ground with the tank, and now we have these big, spacious... It gives you a sense of why these tunnels are quite as big as they are. Yes. Because you need to fly your Banshee through them. And here, the door, fortunately, has not survived. So we have to abandon our Banshee. I was hoping I could get some of those Flood to come through here and shoot them, but... Alas, to no avail.
One through.
Well, I was not in the Banshee.
Yeah. Again, the Flood are crafty.
They are. They like their little hidey holes. They like blowing up doors. They like waiting behind closed doors. They're just kind of all-around dicks. And then I think here is where we get, a whole bunch of infection forms. Just take care of those guys.
Nice one grenade, takes them all out.
Yep. They're very much that sort of like glass cannon concept with those infection forms, of that if you have no shields, like if I had no shields, one of them touching me would kill me instantly because I don't have any health left. But you can kill them very, very quickly if you know what you're doing. There, I got my health pack up with health pack. Just have to hose these guys out with my shotgun. And I think I'm going to take his rocket launcher, wherever that was. There it is.
Alright, shotgun rocket launcher combo. What could be better?
I mean, almost any other combination of weapons is a much more efficient use of your sort of limited weapon space in this game. But, again, I'm playing on normal. I'm playing for the video. Might as well take this stupid but very fun weapon combination to have.
You know, talking about weapon combinations, Halo 1 does something interesting where that would continue through the Halo series, where we're limited to 2 weapons.
Yes.
You know? And it's not even limited like a primary, secondary, just whatever you want to carry with you. And of course, in the lineage of first-person shooters up to now, you had things like Doom, where you just had all of them at once.
Yes, it's much more typical in first-person shooters before 2001 to have have access to all your weapons. In fact, I don't know if there was one before Halo that only did 2 weapons specifically. But it's one of the things that made it really suited for a console was you know, you don't have enough buttons to go through every single weapon. You don't have like 9 number keys the way you do on a keyboard. So limiting you to 2 weapons at any given time makes it a lot more accessible and like able to be like much more fun to use with the controller than like pulling up weapon wheels and the kind of stuff that, you know, happens nowadays with first-person shooters on consoles. That's fine, but there's an immediacy to just having the 2 weapons that you switch between instantly that I really like.
And it's a strategic thing of like, okay, what do I need to take with me now? It constantly is keeping you on your toes, and I like that.
Yeah, and you have to think about weapons in terms of pairings instead of just like them on their own.
Well, it's something we've talked about. So Destiny 2 is going to be coming out any day now by the time this video is out. And we've played the Destiny 2 beta at this point, and one of the changes they've made in Destiny 2 is to have 2 weapon slots that are not a primary, secondary, they're just different kinds of energy. And I think we've both said that's a hugely positive change, and it feels basically more like Halo in that sense, right?
Yeah.
You can choose what kind of weapons you want in those 2 slots, and it's not limiting you to like this primary, secondary kind of distinction, which can be frustrating, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun to sort of have access to that library of weapons, and like I said, think about pairings for, like in the case of Destiny, it's like using an auto rifle and a hand cannon together means you're going to play in a specific way. Or for Halo, having a rocket launcher and a shotgun means you do not have a lot of options available to you, but there are like some fun things you can do by putting those weapons together.
Yes. So is this the big battle you were talking about earlier? Or
no,
is that still
it is in the other valley.
Okay.
This is the setup for the big battle.
Yes, we're getting there though.
Yes, we are definitely getting there.
Oh boy.
Yes.
A lot of Flood. Alright, you made it.
Yes, and there were a lot of Covenant hold up on this hill over here that seem to have all been taken out by the Flood.
Good work.
Yes. Yes, here you can see the remnants of their battle.
So much blood.
Ludicrous amounts of blood. think there's some rocket launcher flood around here. Oh, there he is. I think there might be another one because you can get a ghost here. You also kind of want to, because I think, I'm trying to remember exactly where this battle is, but we'll stumble upon it shortly enough. This is an optional little cave you can go into. Over here. Nothing really here. I think this is where, I want to say this is how you come into here the first time. Because this is where...
Yes, that's correct, yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of like around when you first get the Scorpion. So we're going up through this way now.
And it speaks to how good the spaces that they built in this game are, that you can explore them in these slightly different ways, and there's lots of little paths they can open up for you.
Okay, so I think this is the fight right before the big one.
Hopefully you find a health pack soon.
I will. The thing is they resupply you pretty heavily beforehand. So.
Nice.
In fact, it might actually even be the next area because I think I want to say there's a downed pelican that I'm going to need to get some health from and ammo because I'm also very low on shotgun ammo.
But you took them all out. Oh, one more grunt.
You know what? Just for old time's sake. Okay, here we go. Yes, this is where I can resupply. There's no pelican, but there's just a bunch of shit on the ground.
I see.
Let's just pick all this up, and you get there's a sniper rifle over there.
What are you going to stick with this time, do you think?
Well, this is the thing I like about this battle is that they give you all these weapons and all this stuff, and so you can just kind of, my normal strategy, and this is not going to be anywhere near as hard because we're on normal, but especially if you're doing this on legendary or even heroic, you have to really think about what you're doing here. So I'm going to take the ghost, and I'm going to take a sniper rifle. We're going to do this fight. Although I think there's also, I want to say there's going to be some flood up here that have rocket launchers. Yep. As you can tell, I played this part a lot because you die a lot.
Oh god, yes.
Just need to take these guys out. But what's lucky about that is that while you have to, worry about these guys killing you, they also give you more rocket ammo, which you are going to need more of. Let's fight up ahead. So stay down. So normally you can't get the ghost up here, but you can do a little trick and pop it up here. Because if you hold down the A button when you're piloting the ghost in Halo 1, it does this cool little wheelie, which is mostly completely useless.
I love that they programmed that.
Yeah, but it helps you get up here. So this is the battle I'm thinking of.
Okay.
You have this hill up here. Actually, on normal, it might actually be a lot easier if they don't have... Nope, okay, there's the Wraiths. So there should be 2 Wraiths, or at least on Heroic there definitely is. Yep, okay, 1 Wraith, 2 Wraiths. There's Hunters back there somewhere. And one thing that's interesting is that I'm pretty sure that they spawn enemies in halfway through, like that you can't see halfway through the fight, because there are definitely more enemies that you kill than would normally be you could have in one battle in Halo 1.
So it is epic.
It is definitely epic. To me, this is like the biggest sort of like on-foot battle in the whole game. And especially, again, if you're playing on the harder difficulties, you have to have a good strategy for how you're going to deal with all this stuff. And so you have
my strategy when I played this on Legendary was pretty much run until you get to one of the Banshees and escape.
That is a method you can do. I don't like to do that because I always think it's fun to try to get through this battle on the harder difficulties, sort of like the normal way.
But if you have trouble doing that...
Yeah. I mean, you also will get fucking murdered most of the time when you try to get to those Banshees, but yes, our goal is to get to those 2 Banshees and fly up onto, not there, but I think you have to fly back through that valley we were through and get up onto the next shield platform. But I tend to like to stick up here and pop people with my sniper rifle, kind of thin them out a little bit. There are normally some invisible elites that will also come for you at some point in this fight, and they will actually come out into this valley area, and they will ambush you, and so that's an easy way to get killed. And eventually the Wraiths will stop shooting at the Flood and probably start shooting at me also. So there's just a lot of little variables to account for. But what's fun about this fight is that there are a lot of ways you can go about it. Like I say, I like to take the sniper rifle and thin people out with it. There you can see one of the Hunters. I have to take care of that guy later. But then also later you can sneak up through the right, through that little like rock crevice, and they won't be able to see you coming. And then obviously you can also go up through the left here and take cover behind these rocks. It's just a very pure but very simple fight. Here we have the invisible elites coming up.
This feels like a good preview of the kind of really big battles we're going to get, especially in Halo 3, I feel like.
It definitely feels like it is like them testing out the ways you kind of try to do these bigger sort of battle scenarios where you have multiple different factions, a huge number of different enemy types, because we have like gold elites that are down there, we have grunts obviously and jackals, we have 2 hunters, we have invisible elites, and then we also have wraiths. So basically the only things they don't have are enemies piloting banshees and enemies piloting ghosts are the only 2 Covenant enemy types that are not in this fight.
It really reminds me of the fights in the Earth section of Halo 3.
Yeah.
Where, like, before you get the scarabs in, but then once you bring the scarabs in, it gets even crazier.
Yeah. There we go. We have now expended all of our sniper ammo, so I'm going to go take this ghost back. And we're going to go get a rocket launcher to go take out those wraiths.
Because this is also, you cannot board the wraiths yet.
No,
That's
yeah,
a
so
Halo 2 thing.
there are not a lot of ways to deal with heavy armored vehicles in Halo 1. You basically want to make use of a rocket launcher, or you can kind of do it with grenades, but that takes a long time. It's very hard to do. There we go. So we have maxed up rocket launcher ammo. I remember the first time I played through this game on Legendary, just going and stocking up literally like every single weapon I could get in the area and just stocking them in this cave and just going and like, because at some point it just became a war of attrition before I had a better strategy for dealing with it, where you just have to, you eventually just run out of ammo trying to kill all these fucking gold elites and stuff when they're on Legendary. So now I'm gonna come up here, come through the side, because the thing is, if you try to just go in there with the ghost, it is very hard, particularly on the harder difficulties, to kill wraiths with the ghost guns. So while you can get in there, it's a long fight, and you are very likely to just be destroyed by the wraiths almost immediately, as they find it very difficult to shoot you when you are in this little cubby over here, as you can see. But the wraiths also in Halo 1 have what feels like a preternatural ability to figure out where you are at any
Yeah, I don't
given
know how
time.
they do that.
Yes, I mean, it's just a quirk of AI that they don't actually have to be able to see you, obviously, the way they would in real life. So they just kind of know where you are, because of course they do. They're a computer.
Right. Maybe they have a sonar equipment.
Sure.
That's not what I meant. What did I mean? Not sonar.
I mean, it could be sonar.
It could be sonar.
Sonar would not be anywhere near as effective, I think, probably in this environment, but you could do it if you wanted. There's invisible
Radar. That's the word.
Yes.
Why did sonar come to my head first?
I don't know. I'm not you. They're like weird. They look almost like aquatic in ways.
I guess so.
The Covenant vehicles.
I can't wait for Halo 8 underwater Halo.
I mean, if they keep on making these games, they're going to have to do something, right? You
Yep.
have to change it to the Formula 1 way. And there are no water sections.
Halo 9, where they cross over with Avatar 5
Yeah.
in theaters. And that's not even enough of a joke, because they've announced
No.
Avatar 5. Avatar 12,
Oh, I'm stuck on this tree. Or whatever this is. Oh, this wraith.
the Wraith.
Okay, get off my ass.
Got him.
There we go. As you can see, the shotgun is also very effective at taking out the hunters. It doesn't do precision damage, it just does enough damage.
Yes.
Just have this guy left. There's probably another hunter somewhere around here, unless he got taken out by something else.
I don't see him.
He must have gotten killed. Yes! Oh, okay. Okay. I'm out of rocket ammo.
You might just have to take the Banshee and get out of there. Oh, no, you got him. Nice.
Yes! So there you go. That is, on normal, this fight is not that hard. On Heroic and Legendary,
It's still a cool fight.
It's a very cool fight. I just like the sense of, you come to this valley, you have this hill, and you have this whole battle laid out in front of you, and it's just, how do you take care of it? And that's how I took care of it.
Good work, Sean.
Thank you. So now we have the Banshee, and get to go to the last little weird pulse generator thing. Finish this level up. This is definitely, thinking about the pacing of this game, the last level that we played was the library. And this is a really nice change of pace from that one, where that one is all just you are, on foot, fighting flooded, like wave after wave after wave of flood enemies. And this level has a lot of variety in how you can tackle scenarios, what kind of tools you have available to you. You have every single enemy type in the whole game is in this level for the first time, because you have the Sentinels as enemies, you have the Flood as enemies, and all the Covenant as enemies. And all the Covenant vehicle types. So it's really just like the full smorgasbord, because this is the last stretch of the game, and so everything is kind of all on the table at once. And I like that when games have that little like extra space at the end where they're kind of mostly done at introducing new concepts, and instead are just like, what sort of permutations and variations can we get out of the different concepts and different elements we've put together in the whole game.
Exactly. It's something to just say the other best first-person shooter campaign in the world, Doom 2016.
Yeah.
We talked about that a lot last year when that game came out, that it's something so great that game does near the end, is it finishes giving you upgrades and new weapons and stuff, like 3 levels before the end?
Yeah, 2 or 3.
So you have a couple levels to just use everything. And this game is the same way.
Yeah. There's also, every weapon has been introduced in the game, because the shotgun was the last one they needed.
Yep. So yeah, so you have some time to just play with the full sandbox, basically.
See, these are the Sentinel types that had those energy shields on them.
Fuckers.
Yes, which are pretty annoying to deal with on harder difficulties.
Alright, you got the last pulse generator.
Final target neutralized.
So, what's the second betrayal?
I'm trying to remember. I used
It
to...
was Guilty Spark.
Yes, 343 Guilty Spark betrays you. Something else happened, I don't know.
I just don't remember.
I feel like there is another betrayal, that there's a reason why it is called the 2 betrayals.
Huh.
I don't remember what it was.
Something tells me I'm not gonna like this.
But I'm pretty sure I can pull it from your suit without permanently damaging it.
Here you get some classic Chief in Cortana banter.
I love it.
It's something that helps once you had time away from the character and they come back.
Yes.
You know, their relationship is even stronger now.
Alright, so that's 2 betrayals, and now we get to play a sad level.
Yes.
Keys.
We have to meet up with Captain Keyes one last time.